I think time management for a leader is many times it's difficult. We want to give of ourselves so much to others that a lot of times we don't take enough time for ourselves. I think if I go back and look at my career, like I said, starting of year 36, I think there are many times that I don't want to say the word neglect, but there are many times that I missed some opportunities, maybe with my family or with some loved ones, that I was putting the organization first. And it's hard. And I'm not saying that what I did was wrong or and should change, but there's such a fine line many times on time management when what comes first. I go to Stephen Covey, and if you go to a lot of his workshops, is I think for time management to me is once again you got to know your why. Or what are your big rocks? What are the things that are truly most important to you? Because if you start looking at a day, our day is eat up with, sitting right now, I pretty well emptied my email box, and probably when I get through with this, I'll probably have 65 emails, okay? With probably, I don't know how many telephone calls that are going to be on this man's board. I mean, we're eat up with phone calls, emails, just daily communications, things that have to get out there. Now, is that important? It is. Don't get me wrong. But yet a lot of times that eats our day up. And I call those many times little rocks on things that just eats us up. Well, where's our big rocks? What do we need to make sure? Because we need to make time that we schedule for our big rocks. And family is a big rock. And make sure that you've got time. If health, I mean, many times you can look at me, I'm not a specimen of a great physical guy. I'm trying to, and I need to get at it more and run and exercise more. That's got to start being a bigger rock of mine. I've got to be able to start finding time for that. And then fill in the other time with the emails and the phone calls. It's hard. It's discipline. It's difficult because a lot of times the little pebbles, the little rocks will get buried in. And we've got to be able to put those big rocks in our life first. Truly find out what's important and to schedule those things. And we've just started, I've told all of my parents, I want you to schedule time. We even have a hard time many times of getting out to schools. I mean, here we are, we're a school system superintendent, but I'm sitting behind that desk more than really where I need to be. I need to be in schools because that's where it's happening. Well, we've started making that a big rock, and we just started scheduling time to get out into the schools to talk with teachers more, to talk, once again, the organization. It's time management is difficult, but I think the thing I just keep going back to is you just got to set your priorities, and you've got to make sure you stick with those priorities.
Yeah, sadly, I think a lot of leaders would say what I know I'm guilty of, and it's a very much do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. Balance the time, find the work-life balance, or manage your time well. And just as Mr. Caldwell was saying, so much of it is being reflective about, are you spending your time on the things that are most important? If you coded your day, the amount of time you spend on an email or in a meeting, or is that what you should be doing? Are those the most important elements of it? And when those things are out of balance, I think we have the challenge of trying to put them in balance. And I think in the most effective places, it is something we all have to model. We have a responsibility to not say, let's manage our time and spend it on the big rocks and don't worry about the little rocks. But to show it, to demonstrate that you're going to do that. And I think that is reflected through time, because it quite simply is, and I've shared this in many respects, like it is the most precious resource we have because it's the only thing we can't make more of. Like you cannot make more time. Everybody says, I don't have time for that, I don't have time for that. We all have the same. Everybody has 24 hours every day. And the way you choose it is how you communicate to people what's important to you. And so if you're a school leader and you're in classrooms and you're interacting with students and you're interacting with teachers, you are communicating to them what's important to you. If you spend 2 hours on your email every day, you are communicating what's important to you, directly or indirectly. That happens. And so that kind of twin-headed monster is, if we believe a work-life balance is important and we believe that we want that to exist for our employees, or we want to model it for our students or our community, it has to be demonstrated by the leadership. You can't say, hey, I want you to spend more time with your family, and family is important, but I'm going to spend 90 hours a week behind my desk. Like, that is, we might as well just put the hypocrisy sign on our chest and walk around with it. And so you cannot have an expectation, I believe, for others that you don't have for yourself. And from a leadership standpoint, it requires this constant push on each other that says, if we value these important things, or if we value balance in your life and time with family, then we have to demonstrate and reflect that for other people.